Hey guys, I've been trying to improve my memory and I came across a highly rated book called Unlimited Memory. I wanted to turn this into an experiment, so first I took a load of online memory tests to establish a baseline, then I read the book and applied its methods before repeating the same set of tests. Here's how I got on. Unlimited Memory is a book by Kevin Horsley. He is a memory champion, able to do things like memorize the first 10,000 digits of pi. I knew nothing about the book going into it because I wanted my first set of tests to be a fair assessment. The memory tests I chose are on a website called Quantified Mind. The specific set of tests I was doing is called Basic Memory, and it involves 3 core tests and 3 others that vary each time. I'll walk you through each test because it helps to know exactly what aspect of memory each one involves. So the 3 core tests are design recognition, design copy, and self-paced 3-back. For design recognition, you're shown a 16 by 16 grid with some squares filled in. After 3 seconds, that disappears, and you have to pick the right one out of 4 choices. The complexity is the number of black squares, and it goes up by 1 if you get it right, and down by 1 if you get it wrong. That's a common theme among a lot of these tests. Next up is design copy, a similar concept but a smaller grid. After 5 seconds it disappears, and instead of getting a choice, you have to click the squares to recreate the same pattern. There are 12 trials, and again the complexity moves based on correct and incorrect answers. Self-paced 3-back involves a dinosaur, a jellyfish, a narwhal and a snail. You start off being shown 3 images, in this case dinosaur, snail, narwhal. Then you have to say whether the next image you see is the same or different to the one 3-back, hence the name. There's a total of 120 trials, so there's an element of mental endurance as well. So for these 3, I took up to 15 tests on different days and different times of day. The scoring system is based on all users, so you can see where your strengths lie relative to everyone else. I'll show you 3 more tests. These tended to alternate, so I've only got half as many results compared to the core tests. The first 2 are variations on the same task. Spatial span is a 5 by 5 grid and a sequence of single black squares are shown. In this case, the span indicates 7 squares. If it's forward spatial span, then after the sequence has ended, you click the squares in the same order as you saw them. This one is backward spatial span, so I have to start with the last square I saw and work backwards. As with the first ones, a correct answer extends the sequence by 1 and a wrong answer reduces it by 1. Finally, visual forward digit span. It's a series of single digits shown one at a time, and then a text box where you type them all up in order. So here are my scores for these 3 tests alongside the 3 core ones. I've also included a confidence interval which typically narrows the more times you take a test. It soon became apparent while reading the book that the methods are going to be easier to apply to some tasks than others. They're really designed for storing something in your medium-term memory, so days, weeks and months, rather than 15 seconds. As such, the methods that you use also take a bit longer to apply. That being said, I found a few useful ways to improve my scores, and I'm going to go through the same 6 tests and explain what I did differently. For 3 of the tests, I'm just going to fill in the numbers now because I couldn't find a way to enhance the scores. My score was marginally better in self-paced 3-back because I was just trying to go a little bit faster, often at the expense of 100% accuracy. But the scoring system deemed it a worthy trade-off, and I registered more scores above 600. Now for the 3 bigger improvements. For design copy, I leveraged a long-term memory, which is the shapes you get while playing Tetris, in order to break up and simplify some of the patterns. You only get 5 seconds, but that's enough time for me to select 3 or 4 shapes and apply them to different areas of the grid. Instead of 17 or 18 squares, I'm now remembering a few shapes and a few single black squares. This tactic allowed me to jump from a score of 734 to an average of 849, an increase of 115. For backward spatial span, I converted the 5 by 5 grid into the numbers 1 to 25 and stored the first 3 squares in the sequence as numbers. Using this clip from my baseline tests, instead of memorising 9 squares, I would memorise 10, 13, 24, then the following 6 squares. I'd then click the 6 squares in reverse order and translate my numbers into square locations for the final 3. Since I'm using 2 completely different aspects of memory, I was effectively able to extend my span by 3 improving from a score of 587 to 815, a difference of 225. The final one is the most impressive, going from an average score of 674 up to 918, including several individual scores over 1,000, and that's the visual forward digit span. In the book, you learn tactics for memorising things like a pack of cards by assigning a word to each card and then creating a story that links them all in order. As another example, earlier in the book, I used the story method to successfully remember all 46 US presidencies. You also learn how to translate numbers into letters using an established mapping, and those letters then create words which can be formed into a memorable story. I'm going to use the never-ending number pi to demonstrate how this works in practice. Each number relates to one or more consonants, and the vowels are free letters used to create the word. You can create words of any length, but I typically stuck to 2 numbers per word. So 3 is M and 1 is either T or D. We'll go with D and create the word mud. That's a nice starting point so you visualise a large area of mud. 4 is R and 1 again is T or D, so we'll go with rat. Your muddy area now has a giant rat in it. 5 is L and 9 is B or P, so we can go lip, and we can put a big red pair of lips on the giant rat in the mud. 2 is N, 6 can be G, so the rat can be nagging someone, as females are known to do. 5 is L, 3 is M, whoever she's nagging is obscured by the tinted glass of their limo. 5 is L, 8 is V or F, so they've rolled down their window and a whole load of leaves are pouring out for some reason. 9, which is B or P, and 7 is K. We'll say the leaves have finished falling, we still can't see who it is because they're hidden behind a book. Rather annoyingly, I wrote the number wrong when I recorded this and missed out a 9, so the book cover can have Winnie the Pooh on it. 3 is M, 2 is N, as is often the target of a nag, it's a man. 3 is M, 8 is F or V, the man starts talking behind his book, but his voice is muffled. Note that if you're exclusively translating numbers in pairs, it's okay that muffled is technically 3851, but we're treating it as just 38. 4 is R and 6 can be J. Surprisingly, the muffled voice behind a book in the limo is Raj from The Big Bang Theory. So we're at 20 digits, starting with mud and a giant rat with big red lips nagging someone in a limo. The window rolls down, leaves fall out, and from behind a book, you can tell it's a man. His voice is muffled, but he comes into view and it's Raj from The Big Bang Theory. It's just a case of knowing how to translate these back into numbers, and there's the first 20 digits of pi. So that was a lengthy explanation for how I approached the final test. Given the speed element, I was only able to convert the first 2 or 3 pairs of numbers into words to then memorise. I'm going to play you a clip from my post-book results, and you can just listen out and you can hear how I make the story up in real time.
Yes. Mom. Num. Mum is num. Knit. Mum's num knitting. 115. 115. 596. 115. 596. 22. 11. Oh no, I've lost it. 115. 596. Oh, Mum is num knitting. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you're adding 15. I think there's only 1 5 there.
With the benefit of hindsight, the memory tests I chose were really badly suited to the methods in this book. The methods are much better at committing something to medium-term memory, so months, not minutes, and with repeated practice, you can actually store things in long-term memory. That's obviously harder to assess using online tests, which, due to the time constraints, are nearly all aimed at short-term memory. I don't know how much school exams these days rely on memorising information, but I believe that it's absolutely the case that it could move you from a B to an A or an A to an A+. In particular, there's a method for memorising abstract words that would be perfect for language learning. I've never studied US history, but while practicing the methods in this book, I learned the US presidents in order. This was back in November, but I still remember that the story starts with me washing a tin in my sink. It grows an Adam's apple, it's grabbed by a chef and her son, Nigella Lawson, if you must know. She uses it to make medicine. She administered it to Marilyn Monroe. She grows an Adam's apple. That freaks out Michael Jackson. He runs out the door and jumps into a van full of beer, and so on. Hopefully there was enough in the results of my memory tests, as well as my other examples, for you to see the potential applications of these kinds of methods. If you can find somewhere in your life where you think this sort of tool would be valuable, then I 100% recommend this book. You do have to embrace the methods, and it does take time to create the stories, but once you have that method down, then the possibilities, as the author says, are basically unlimited. Thank you for watching.